Alright, there we are. We are live. I am going to tweet the link. I'm going to post about it on Instagram. How do I copy the link to it? Oh, there we go. There's the link. Alright, there we go. We got it tweeted. What I need to do, though, is put it on Instagram. No, don't walk on my keyboard. Why? Stop walking on my keyboard. Push a link on here. Done. Oh, undo. Undo. Okay. I guess we'll go live on TikTok. Okay, here we go. And live on TikTok as well. There we go. No, I gotta... What's the live intro is what I gotta edit. How do I edit it? What a terrible system. I can't scroll throughout. Editing BTS content. Slide through as you drink your morning coffee. There we go. All right, we are live. Live on YouTube, live on TikTok. I don't yet have a solution that you can see my screen on TikTok, so it's just my phone on a stand. You're gonna have to listen. All right. First things first. I had a suggestion with, it was a suggestion on something, I'd posted on TikTok to do, just change the edit a little bit, change the hook, and they thought it was going to go viral, so we're going to give it a shot. It can't hurt, right? So it was a TikTok about Adobe Podcast, which, Adobe Podcast is a tool that allows you to clean up audio. What kind of videos do I produce? I do sports videos. I'm the head videographer for LSU football. So I've been here 4.5 years. Won a national championship. Got all the rings. Gone viral a bunch of times. Spend not most of my time, but my biggest skill set is certainly After Effects. What up, Sam, over on YouTube? Just getting rolling here. First time really going live. No, I don't go to school here. Aiden, I am full-time. Been a full-time employee for 5 years. I didn't even go to LSU. I wish I did. It seemed like it would have been a fun place to go. But I didn't. Alright, so let me change the scene on the YouTube here. There we go. There we see my timeline. First of all, I'm just gonna change this. Shoot, I can't get the server to connect. I'm gonna just edit this TikTok a little bit. They recommended I put the before and after right away at the beginning. And that would hook people a little better. So we're gonna give it a shot. That also shortened it to under a minute, which is pretty sick. I feel like that'll help with viewership. But I gotta go get the clean audio from the server. Yeah, Sam, I plan on keeping it up. I don't have like a set a streaming schedule by any means. Um, I'd like to get into a habit of a streaming schedule. I just don't know what that's going to look like yet. This morning time might be a good time for me. I'm kind of a morning person, so I don't know if it'll just be on the weekends. Just be not really sure yet. But yes, overall yes. I'd like to get into streaming. Seems like a fun interaction tool. So camera wise, I got 3 cameras. Here we go. Here's the server coming up now. And I'm gonna switch through them real quick to show them to you. And they'll only show on YouTube for you TikTok people. So here's camera 1 is, let me go back to the scene and we can see them better. So here's camera 1, which is obviously like a normal camera. That's an A7S2 going into a Blackmagic ATEM. We have camera 2, which is that ultra wide. Up there is just a GoPro mounted on a bookshelf, and then it runs HDMI in to the Blackmagic. And I'm only gonna switch to camera 3 for short because it's having some problems. It just like flickers, and I don't really know why. So here it is. There's the angle, but it's flickering, so we're not gonna sit on there because that's annoying. Best way to get an internship in film. Why won't the server connect? Oh, my VPN's not working. If you're at a college, I think the best way is to just reach out and offer. I mean, I think that every university athletic department needs help. The industry has just blown up so much over the last couple of years. There's so many more requests across so many more sports, across admin. If you reach out and you volunteer and you show up and just work hard, like, they're gonna keep you around. What's my favorite part of my job? My favorite part is probably some of like the unique effects I get to do. I really enjoy doing some wild effect shots that nobody's ever done before. Eventually, I'm going to make a VFX reel. I'll probably do that on stream. I just don't know when that'll be. But eventually, that's the plan. Alright, here we go. Oh, this is the wrong project. Let me flip on YouTube back over to this guy. Not the right project. Where's it at? Here we go, this press conference. Players mic'd up would be interesting. We haven't typically been allowed to mic up players before. Last year was the first year. I guess the last 2 years in spring ball were the first years we were allowed to mic up coaches. And so, yeah, we haven't been allowed to do players quite yet. Last year we had Coach Kelly mic'd up for the spring game, which was pretty fun. I actually got to follow him around for the whole day, not just the game itself. Rode in his backseat to work on that day. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, players would be fun. Be curious to see who and how we were to decide that, like on who the players would be. But overall, yeah, that'd be some good content. All right, so what I'm doing over on the YouTube where you can see my screens is I'm working on an old TikTok about Adobe Podcast, going through first exporting the video without audio, without the music track, so you just hear the audio. And then I'm going to export it just with the cleaned up audio through Adobe Podcast so you can really hear a before and after. The lead up to baseball season has been fire. The photos have been awesome. Yeah, our photo team's incredible. And then Austin from our team is doing all the video stuff over there. So we got a good little crew. Ashley running everything. Ashley's our GA that does most of the baseball social media content and kind of all the planning. So she's been a great leader for that team, and they're going to have a pretty solid year. So that'll be exciting to watch. Yeah, right on. It's going to be a heck of a year. You're right. No lies detected. Alright, get this version 2 with the AI audio. Been here almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in May. So, sneaking up on 5 years. Close project. No, we don't need to save it. And then I'm just going to replace what I need to do. I'm going to pause our music for a second. Figure out which one is the AI.
First in the West, going from.
So _1 is the one with the AI, and I'm gonna just replace these. Replace footage. They're on the desktop. So AI. Replace footage. Desktop. OG. Okay. Now render this sequence real quick. See how it sounds.
Restore the pride in our program, certainly finishing last the year before, and then we wanted to restore the pride in our program, certainly finishing last the year before, and then
check out this AI tool that can completely fix a messed up audio recording. I first tried this at the bowl game. I got the press conference recording and had a lot of noise in the background. Here's how it sounded.
We wanted to restore the pride in our program, certainly finishing last the year before, and then.
And I was not digging that. I had heard of Adobe Podcast and learned it on the fly. Pretty much what I had to do is export just the audio track as an MP3 file, upload that to Adobe Podcast, and it spits out a clean version of just the audio file. Throw that back into the timeline, syncs up perfectly.
We wanted to restore the pride in our program, certainly finishing last the year before, and then.
Good to go. And follow me if you want more quick editing tips like this.
Nice. I'm going to re-export that. I might get rid of the sections where it goes back to it throughout as well.
It's a messed up audio recording. I first tried this at the bowl game. I got a game. Do recording. I got the press conference recording and had a lot of noise in the background. Here's how it sounded in the background.
Shorten this thing up a little bit. Technically, I do all sports, but I spend the majority of my time on football. I'll bounce around here and there, though, whether it be an admin project, a NIL project. I do quite a bit of NIL stuff, but for the most part, I spend my time on football.
And I was not digging that. I had a lot of noise in the background. And I was not digging that. I had heard of Adobe Podcast and learned it on the fly. Pretty much what I had to do is export just the audio track as an MP3 file, upload that to Adobe Podcast, and it spits out a clean version of just the audio file. Throw that back into the timeline, syncs up perfectly, good to go. And follow me if you
Yeah, that's solid. I'm going to scale in on this shot so there's a little bit less of it.
perfectly good to go. And
Yeah.
follow me if you want more quick editing tips like this.
Yeah. It's a good TikTok. Export this guy AI audio to, since I have posted it before. It's kind of a new little method. There's a lot of pages on TikTok that talk about strategy, and they talk about editing the same thing over and over and over again. And then eventually one of those will hit in the algorithm and go viral. And I don't mess around with that too much. Pretty much just edit it once and then move on. Because I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of weird for your followers. Like, it feels like it's making content that it's almost like you're working harder for the people that don't follow you than you are for the people that follow you. You're working harder for people that aren't fans of you than the people who are. And so I don't know. I think it probably works really well in strategy. I don't know. I don't play around with it too much. Alright, so switching SSDs here, we're going to get into editing on the podcast studio behind the scenes. You know, we built a podcast studio, worked on it from about May until August 1st. August 1st we went, recorded our first podcast, and it was ready to roll for then. I think I have, right now it's cut down to about 8.5 hours of footage, and I think originally it was about 13 hours of stuff I just shot. I just shot pretty much everything the entire time, talked through a lot of what I was doing, and now I just have to go through it all, which clearly I've been dreading because it's been 6 months, nearly 6 months, and I've barely touched the project, but it'll be really cool. I really want it to be a really strong project once I post it. I think it could be really awesome. Best tip to start in photography. I don't really know much about photography. I just do video, but I think the best tip, not just in photo, but in life, is that, like, if you want to do something, just do it. So if you want to be a photographer, then go take photos, and then take more photos, and then take more photos. And I think that's how you get better at things, is by reps. You don't get better by, obviously it can help and stuff by reading about things, but overall, if you want to improve, the best way to improve is to do something 1,000 times. And then you compare the first time to the last time, and that's where you notice the differences. You know, if you're getting slightly better, incrementally taking steps forward, then the differences are going to be pretty major by the end. Oh, that's the wrong mouse. That is what's confusing. I have a Mac Mini running the streaming setup and my MacBook Pro running Premiere, and I just grabbed the wrong mouse. Alright, so first I'm going to watch through what we already have, what I edited before. I might eat my cornbread while we do that too. Got some cornbread for breakfast. So yeah, let's do it. Let's watch through. What I'm gonna do for TikTok is I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera. How do I do that? The frick. I don't know how to flip the camera. Flip camera. There we go. Alright. There you go. Now you all get to see what we're working with too. There's an angle where there's no glare. Cool. Alright. Everybody can see from the top. Let's just watch through it.
In this video, we're going to go through the planning, equipment, and assembly that we at LSU put into getting our new podcast studio up and running. And stick around to the end, and we'll go through the cost of everything. The planning started a year ago with the idea of a multi-purpose space, a studio of sorts that can be used for podcasts, interviews, Zoom calls, live streams on YouTube, really anything we can throw at it. Putting a glass wall right down the middle. Front half, that's going to be part of the social media team. Back half, that's going to be the home of the Hey Fighting Podcasting Network. It's going to have a whole podcast set up in a rack mount case, all set up and ready to go at the touch of a button. From there, I started research. Pretty much, if there's a video on YouTube about a podcast studio, I watched it and I took notes. And then from there, I met with Emily Dixon and Cody Worsham to talk through all of it. We talked about scenarios. If we're doing a Zoom call, here's how we're doing it. If we're doing an interview, here's how we're doing it. It started getting so complex that I needed to make a flow chart to keep everything straight. I used Lucid Chart to make a wiring diagram of everything. It was also important that we keep things compact and mobile. So everything's going to go inside this 12U Gator rack case. Additionally, we designed a custom I/O panel that will go on the back. Everything's labeled. We're not messing with wires inside the case, just plugging them into the back of it. And right now we're going to start the assembly process. Let's get started with that rack case. The video from the cameras flow into this Blackmagic switcher, flows into this recorder, these monitors to output. Mics go into this audio mixer, goes into the video switcher.
I imagine this.
Also goes into an audio recorder.
I'll probably speed through this once I
that can either be used as an input or an output.
once I get to the edit. Do the little thing where it shows all the math equations.
2 Blackmagic HyperDecks, one for recording, one for playback. Everything out to headphone amps, inputs for the hosts to have their own computer for anything they want to share. 4 7-inch Feel World monitors to see everything that's going on.
Feel World.
Starting at the bottom,
My
we got
people.
this ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. This will be our main video switcher and take all our video inputs. Since this isn't a rack mount unit, I have a 1U drawer to mount it on.
I feel like I can cut some of these shots as we're going.
First, Clint and Cody Worsham to talk through all of it. We talked about scenarios. It started getting so complex that I need to make a flow chart to keep everything straight. I used a Lucid Chart to make a wiring diagram of everything. It was also important that we keep things compact and mobile. So everything's going to go inside this 12U Gator rack case. Additionally, we designed a custom I/O panel that will go on the back. Everything's labeled. We're not messing with wires inside the case, just plugging them into the back of it. And right now we're going to start the assembly process. Let's get started with that rack case. The video from the cameras flow into this Blackmagic switcher, flows into this recorder, these monitors to output. Mics. 2 Blackmagic HyperDecks.
Alright, that's where we're going to spin this guy back around. That's where we're going to get going here. I do need something else to drink. I'm kind of thirsty. Let me run and grab a water. What up, Kondo? What up, Ivan? How we doing? Welcome. I'm going to run and grab a water real quick. Don't go anywhere. Come up with some good questions you want to ask me. I'll be right back. Here's my fun fact for you. I hate water. I cannot stand plain water. So I drink a lot of these. They're sparkling flavored waters. Don't taste anything like water, and that's the way it should be. This one is strawberry cream flavored. It's that good stuff. Like the pullover, go Tigers. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Alright. Let's flip this back to the editing view. Yep, that's pretty solid. Honestly, I could make my little box even a little bigger. We don't need anything in that panel for now. Something like that. Looks pretty solid. Kind of fit in right where that panel is at. Look at us. I don't have any like scenes set up. And so I'm just kind of making it as I go in OBS. There we go. Usually work on Sunday mornings. I usually work every day. I'm not really working right now. This is more of a personal project. I could never edit this and I'd be totally fine. I'm editing on behind the scenes of building the podcast studio last year, so excuse me. Yeah, this is just a personal project. Get the music going back again. And here we go.
Put something directly above it. Next up, we got the Alexis Multimix 12R. This is going to take all our audio in and out. You'll miss that.
So right now on the podcast, I'm just going to clip everything. That'll give us a big string out. And then I'll figure out how to make it interesting from there. That shot looks like it was a camera pan, but really the tripod head was just off level, and so it was literally just like slowly rotating as it was filming. And I didn't realize till after. Completely accidental. Still have that 12U rack that I have no idea what to do with. It's more expensive to ship it back than it was to return it, so just kind of hold on to it. we're just getting caught up. I still got another couple minutes of stuff I already pulled selects of, and then we'll be caught up with new footage. Can't believe this tripod arm was in the shot for like literally the entire thing. That might annoy me as I get deeper into this.
Extra important to double check all my wiring diagrams, double check where everything's going to be at, double check everything, make sure I'm good with all of it, because if I forget something, it's going to be another week waiting on shipping until I can get that part in. It's cheaper to buy for individuals. Already have the shelf that'll hold the Mac Mini, power cables for the HD Studio Pluses. It's got to be 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, that's odd to me.
And they're yellow, that's even better. 10 XLRs internal, 5 Ethernet cables.
Those Blackmagic Hyperdeck Minis didn't come with a power cable. I still think that's weird to this day.
I'm just dealing with the stuff inside the case itself.
I know there's 2 ways to power them. You can either power them off XLR, or you can plug in like a normal, I don't know what that power cable is called. It's kind of like a triangle kind of shape. It's like the common power cable, right? It didn't come with those. Those cables are like 2 cents a piece. Like if you buy them in bulk, crazy cheap. Why would it not include those? I used to work in the athletic building. I worked there up until about August, and then we moved over to football, or not football ops. We moved over to the stadium. There was a space that football ops was at temporarily while they updated the football operations building. So we got the opportunity to go through, call dibs on some space, and kind of set it up however we wanted. So we moved over there in early August to a bigger, better setup. It's pretty great. So it's on the 3rd floor of Tiger Stadium. It's where I work at. I guess I'll get a shot each of these clips of unboxing. So here's when I take the camera out. There's the camera. Cool. These cameras, really not made to go on, really not made to have a dummy battery, is what I meant to say actually. And so to get the cable to come out the hatch for the dummy battery, you have to literally like rip the plastic cover off the hatch. I might show that right now. Yeah, so you can't close the battery door with the plastic cover on there. And the only way to get the battery door off is to break it. And there's a little piece of metal under there.
Alright, so I am running into one slight problem.
That's what I'm going to talk about right here.
Alright, so I am running into one slight problem. Because of the design of this because of the design of the battery door on this camera, problem. Because of the design of this because of the design of the battery door on this camera, the battery door has to be closed in order to use the tripod mount. There's not a little cutout
Silly
for the
design.
wire of the dummy battery to come out of. It's not really designed to use a dummy battery. I think, though, there's a little tiny screw here that if I pop that out, I'll be able to close just the metal flap, and it'll take off the plastic, and that'll leave space to have a dummy battery wire come out of there. Let's give it a shot. First, I'm going to test the HDMI output, make sure I got a clean output on that.
Fast forward, you don't need to take the screw out. Grab a pair of pliers, rip the thing off. Way quicker.
Alright, so I tested the HDMI output, working great, clean feed. What I didn't realize till just now is that this tiny little camera actually has picture profiles in it as well. So we can perfectly match the
Rap video commercials for Ben's Burgers. I've never been over to Metairie.
if the Blackmagic mixer can also do LUT. I'm not sure if it can, I'll have to look into that. But if it does, we can perfectly match picture profiles across all cameras.
Alright, now I'm talking about picture profiles.
What I'm gonna do,
I never even got into it. I'm gonna just delete that part. Yeah, we don't need to touch on that topic because I never talked about it.
Alright, so with that
Yeah, tag me for sure. I want to see.
Get this dummy battery to fit.
New to editing, any
It
tips?
latches like normal. And there's
Just keep editing. That's my only
that
tip.
door, that the metal can go down and the tripod plate can go on. That's perfect.
The only way to get better at editing is to edit. So
Next comes the tripod plate.
just keep editing.
Down real good. And there you have it. That's what our little podcast cameras will look like. We got our HDMI out here on the bottom. This will go to mains power, and this thing will just sit there and run all day. It doesn't actually have to record internally. We have the ISO function on the Blackmagic ATEM, so this guy is just capturing video.
So the way I use these cameras in the podcast setup is essentially more of just a sensor as compared to a camera itself. They just sit there and they...
Alright, I was going to wait until we get over in the actual podcast space.
They just feed an
But I gotta
HDMI
see it
signal
on
into
top
the
of one of
ATEM.
the light stands,
They don't
just out
even
of curiosity.
need to really process anything. For that one, I went with light stands instead of tripods, and kind of regret that. I kind of learned from that on when I built the film room. I did end up using actual tripods, and it's just the light stands are a little skinnier overall. Obviously, they go up into just a tube as compared to 3 legs going up. But I think because of how big the bases of the light stands are, I probably could have gone with just regular mini tripods, little travel tripods. I mean, they don't have to hold nearly any weight, so in hindsight, maybe I would have done that. feel like I've already seen all this footage. It's a nice little transition, though. Transition of carrying it from over there to my desk. That thing was heavy, man. Yeah, you can hear it in my body language. That thing is not light. And I did it twice so I could get the shot. Okay, I gotta figure out where those go so I don't forget about them. It's when I was buying wires over on my desk. Right here.
Ordering.
Nice. Nice little transition piece. Am I going to do it much with baseball? I probably won't touch baseball much. You know, we got Austin Jermillion is our main baseball videographer. Look him up. He's our main guy for baseball. I was just talking about baseball a minute ago, actually. And then on top of that, Dawson Aaronstruff will help him out with some long-form stuff here and there. But overall, most of the content you'll see is coming from Austin on baseball. I'll just keep working on football. I'll keep working on football through the off season too. They keep us pretty busy, even though we're not in season. So, yeah, that's kind of our setup with baseball. But I'm very excited to see how they do all of the cool content. Very excited for baseball. I'm a big believer in Jay Johnson. You know, everybody says he's the most similar coach to Skip Bertman that we've had in a while. So that'll be cool. Appreciate the question, Scott. I'm excited for some of the upgrades they have going on there too. They painted the dugouts, so those look really nice. And just overall, excited for baseball, but I personally won't be making much of their content. Thanks, Scott. That was a good question. All right.
You moved a lot, or staying
Speaking
in its
of,
place?
Probably 99% of the time staying in.
Unless we go do a guest swim on the practice field or something.
there's Austin right there talking to me.
That would still be like a lot of work to move it. Like, because you're not just moving this, but then you're moving 3 to 4 cameras and mics. And
That's cool that you got to go to
HDMI
a
cables
skip
and
I'm
XLR
trying to just
cables.
leave it in one spot so you don't have to set it up every time.
camp. That's pretty awesome.
Is it on the street?
On the street in New York City or something. Like they sit on, or it's like the microphone.
Old box. It's cool to look at like pictures of old Alex box because like obviously it's in a different location and just stuff like that is so interesting. Stuff like looking at the old softball stadium is interesting because it was in a different location. It was over by beach volleyball and gym. You know, beach volleyball was tennis at one point, so all those old facility stuff is super cool. That was all before my time, so just to kind of imagine it. This is once I got Nicholson. Yeah, and know what you're talking about. Nicholson Road. So this other rack mount, when I upgraded to the bigger rack mount, this one came with casters on it, which
That says sports production.
definitely did not want casters on a rack that was sitting on top of a table. So replace those with just these little rubber feet. Maybe we'll flip y'all around for a second. Maybe we'll go this way. And y'all will get to see the screen for just a minute.
Yeah, they went straight to the bottom.
Maybe.
I'm not going to.
Do you have to like have a vent or anything?
The whole back will be vented panels.
Now you can see what I'm doing.
Not just gonna leave it open. I have like legit panels that'll screw on and just cover it.
My hair was so short then. It's crazy. This was frustrating because it was essentially just redoing the same thing that I had already done. Just moving it all. Gotta have that Connect 4 though. Beat anybody's ass at Connect 4. I don't play with Connect 4, let me tell you. Should we get in a Connect 4 right now? Why is this screen like dimmed like that? That was weird. Will it take this name? I turn first. Well, this might not go great. Doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't do anything for me. I guess I can go here. Dang. That sucks. Can't play there because then they'll block and they'll win. Play here though. This guy's got a solid game going. Okay. What should I do here? Here they win. If I go here, you took too long to play. What the hell? I didn't take that long. Took like 2 seconds maybe, but not that long. There's literally a timer. I'll let him have this one so that I get the one above it. He didn't take it. Shoot. This sucks. Screw that. We're editing, but now we're just playing Connect 4. The way it should be. Oh, I gotta go first this time. Yeah, he had me. He had me that time. Hey, FPV, it's fine. We taken a little Connect 4 break. It's all about Connect 4. Wow. Yikes. Cut it off. That's bad. That was bad. Alright. $8:40. I might stop at 9 o'clock. How long have I been live for? Just saying. I don't see it on the YouTube end. Just over an hour. I missed when that got moved. got some VHB to hold down those hyperdecks. The hardest part about VHB is trying to get the backing off of it. God damn, that is not easy. I forgot I put them on the top too. Really just sandwiched those in there where they won't move.
Golf cart and a gator. And, not or. And. And, not or. Why wouldn't we need both?
There we go. Alright, and that moved us into Peace Out FPV. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping through. That got us moved into the big case at least. Love that.
So I want to take a moment as I switch these power strips. So I want to take a moment as I switch these power strips over to discuss why all this equipment. Why not just use a Mac Mini? Why not just use a computer? Take a bunch of video inputs and to discuss why use all this equipment. Why not just take a computer? Take a moment as I switch these power strips over to discuss why use all this equipment. Why not just take a computer, take some mic inputs, use a little audio interface, take a bunch of video inputs, some sort of an interface there, and just go from there. I think the biggest reason is all the software technical difficulties that come along with a solution like that. Between connectivity and drivers and things working between different apps and logins and any other unforeseen issues, updates, software updates. You know, there's just any number of things that are always changing with the computer. Versus this stuff, this is purpose-built hardware. You know, the audio mixer. You know, every time you turn it on, it's going to work exactly as it. You know, every time you get the audio mixer, it's perfect. Versus this stuff, this is purpose-built hardware. You know, the audio mixer. You know, and logins and any other unforeseen issues, updates, software updates. You know, there's just any number of things that are always changing with the computer. Versus this stuff, this is purpose-built hardware. You know, the audio mixer. You know, the audio mixer is purpose-built for that. You know, every time you turn it on, it's gonna work for audio mixing. The recorders are purpose-built for that. you know, the video switcher. It's purpose built for that. So it's never going to have any connectivity issues. The recorders, you know, the MP3 recorder is always going to record MP3. The Blackmagic recorder is always going to work flawlessly. So just with the hardware things, there's no issues. You know it's going to work as long as I set it. Just with the hardware things, there's no issues. You know it's going to work as long as I set it up right here on the front end. It's going to work.
What an angle. What a random angle. Oh, the hat went backwards. He's getting serious.
It's good because they're awkward, man. 100 takes. What? I can't do it with people around. Bailey and her mom came. It's too expensive.
Room, like kind of like this color, like a silver gunmetalish gray.
Yeah.
And then replace the ceiling and obviously white. And on that,
Thanks, Matt Smith.
we're gonna have it so it's
Appreciate that.
around the three walls and the back splash wall where our headquarters.
I'm gonna flip this back around.
And I'm gonna have
I can't even like see the comment section when it's facing that way, so
pop-out space on the
that's not great. But if I go like this, then all you can see is me, so we gotta pick one or the other.
The How It's Made sound. The soundtrack. You know the soundtrack to How It's Made? Oh, sound of my childhood. You're going around. That soundtrack. You know the soundtrack to How It's Made? Oh, sound of my childhood. You're going running?
Ole Miss Band. What's up, Ole Miss Band? That's pretty cool, Matt.
Yikes.
Band stuff is fun. People go crazy for band stuff. It's pretty wild. When did I know I wanted to be an editor? I don't know if there was ever like one specific time when I was like, oh, this is it. You know, I started as a designer in college, untrained designer, and then got into motion stuff from there, and so it was just kind of a evolution, I would say. There wasn't like a flip of a switch when I was like, oh, this is it. Just all my life experience is kind of built into it, you know. This is when I started slinging, absolutely slinging wiring. I mean, there's like 30 HDMI cables alone inside this rack. It is pretty interesting. One way to look at it too is that, like, with learning a new show each week. I guess I don't know if you do marching band or some other kind of band, but with learning a new show each week, it's like a whole new playbook almost. It's completely different thing every single week. So how they memorize that beats me, but that's what certainly makes band unique. Both marching and concert, nice. You probably got to think quite a bit about audio too, huh? Making sure you capture the audio in a way that does them justice. Curious what that looks like. Eight terabyte NAS, there you go. I got one of those under my desk right now. Right here. I don't use it too often though. I originally got it to back stuff up, but Synology, I think so. Yes. Final answer, yes, Synology. But then our NAS we use at work is I think it's a QNAP or something like that. Is what it's called. This was when I unboxed the custom I/O panel. I was quite excited for that. It had all custom laser engraving and stuff. It came out. It's probably my favorite part of the build itself. Let me flip this guy around again. Well, I'll wait till I find the part when I actually open it. Alright, look at this. The custom I/O panel. Everything labeled. XLR 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way up. There's our PC connections, our ATEM connections. Audio ins and out, HDMIs. My favorite part right there, the custom engraving. Hey Fighting Podcast Network, LSU Athletics. And what we could do is we could put this guy like that, and then you can actually see what I'm doing. What kind of rack? It was for a podcast build, our podcast studio that I put together over this past summer. So it's a ATEM switcher, it's an audio mixer, all of it kind of in one rack. Mac Mini in there, of course. 2 strips of VHB for that one little USB-C adapter, it will probably never come off. Never, ever. I wonder if there's a way to view this full screen.